Welcome, friends. Tonight, we embark on an unsettling journey into the depths of the human mind, uncovering 10 potent psychological maneuvers that shape our perceptions, decisions, and even our very sense of reality. These are not merely theories. They are real-world tactics, often wielded subtly to influence and control. Prepare to see the world, and perhaps yourself, through a chillingly new lens. Social proof exploitation. Have you ever followed a crowd, assuming their choices must be right? This is social proof, a deeply ingrained psychological bias. When manipulated, it becomes a potent weapon. Advertisers tell you millions love their product. Scammers flood products with suspiciously similar glowing reviews. Even a handful of fake reviews can nudge someone towards a purchase. It manufactures credibility where none exists. This method is used by cults, Ponzi schemes, and propaganda machines. Make people believe everyone else is doing it, and they'll follow. The real danger isn't just in marketing, it's in controlling group behavior, fueling mob mentality where actions feel justified because no one else is stopping it, so it must be okay. The scariest part? Most people will never realize they've been manipulated, convinced they made the decision themselves. Brainwashing. Brainwashing isn't science fiction. It's a powerful and effective psychological manipulation, and no one is truly immune. It follows a terrifying four-step pattern: isolation, destabilization, indoctrination, and reinforcement. Isolation involves controlling access to information, thereby controlling a person's perception of reality. Jim Jones, for instance, moved his followers to a remote compound in Guyana, cutting them off from outside influences. This also happens in media bubbles, extremist groups, and toxic relationships, where only one perspective is constantly reinforced. Next is destabilization, which breaks down mental defenses through exhaustion, fear, and confusion. Cults use long sermons and erratic punishments, while governments use constant crisis narratives to make people feel too chaotic to understand without their guidance. The more mentally drained someone becomes, the more they rely on the manipulator. Then comes indoctrination, where new beliefs are implanted using reward and punishment cycles. Conformity is praised, questioning is punished. Finally, reinforcement ensures the new identity is constantly reinforced through rituals, groupthink, and identity-based loyalty. People stop questioning because their beliefs become tied to their sense of self. Brainwashing doesn't feel like brainwashing. It feels like truth. Gaslighting. This psychological weapon makes you question your own perception of reality. It's not just lying, it's erasing truth itself and replacing it with something convenient for the manipulator. The term comes from a 1944 film, where a husband slowly convinces his wife she's losing her mind by subtly altering her environment and denying it. Gaslighting destabilizes reality subtly. The manipulator denies things they've said or done, even with proof, chipping away at your confidence. They attack your ability to think clearly, making you doubt your own judgment. Emotional manipulation follows, dismissing your reactions to make you question your right to feel. Finally, isolation cuts you off from outside perspectives, making the manipulator the sole authority on what's real. At this stage, you silence your own doubts, accepting their version of events because your mind no longer trusts itself to disagree. It rewrites who you are, making you abandon yourself and hand over control. If you've made it this far, you're not like most. Most scroll away the moment it gets uncomfortable. But you lean in. So do one more thing they won't. Subscribe, and keep going deeper. Cultivating dependence. The most effective way to control someone isn't to physically restrain them, but to make them believe they cannot survive without you. This is engineered dependence, tapping into the fundamental human need for connection. It starts by subtly removing options one by one. A partner might insist, "Your friends don't really care about you." A group might warn, "Your family is toxic." A leader whispers, "Only we know the truth. The outside world is dangerous." Once isolation is complete, the manipulator becomes the only source of validation, approval, security, and even basic needs. They create problems only they can solve and withhold kindness until obedience is guaranteed. The victim stops making choices, conditioned to believe they can't. The cruelest part: the victim believes it's their choice, even when escape is possible, because their world has been rewritten so completely that leaving feels like stepping off a cliff. Love bombing. At first, it feels intoxicating, overwhelming, almost too perfect. This is love bombing, a trick designed to make someone emotionally dependent before the rug is pulled out. It's not genuine affection. It's a carefully crafted illusion. It works by hijacking the brain's reward system, flooding you with extreme positivity, releasing dopamine, and creating an emotional rush that feels impossible to leave. In relationships, it might involve extravagant gifts or rushing intimacy. In friendships or workplaces, it's relentless praise and flattery. The real trick is the reversal. Once hooked, the good morning texts stop, the warmth fades, and compliments turn to cold indifference or criticism. The victim blames themselves, lowering boundaries and chasing the initial euphoria. This cycle of intense affection, followed by sudden emotional starvation, is intermittent reinforcement, making the victim tolerate worse treatment just for another hit. Emotional blackmail. This powerful trick makes people betray values, stay in toxic relationships, and feel trapped. It's where someone exploits your emotions, fear, guilt, and obligation to get what they want. They don't ask or force. They make you feel like denying them is cruel, selfish, or dangerous. A mother might say, "If you leave me, I don't know how I'll survive." A partner states, "If you really loved me, you wouldn't question me." It follows a pattern. The manipulator makes a demand, then triggers guilt, fear, or obligation, acting hurt, exploding in anger, withdrawing affection, and finally offers a way out. "If you just do what I say, everything will be fine." You're trapped because saying no feels like it will destroy everything. Emotional blackmailers don't want love, fairness, or respect. They want control. Memory manipulation. Your memories, the moments you swear happened exactly as you recall, might be completely false. Memory is one of the most fragile and easily manipulated aspects of the human mind, making it a perfect tool for control. The Lost in the Mall experiment by psychologist Elizabeth Loftus showed how repeated questioning and subtle suggestions could lead participants to remember fabricated childhood events in vivid detail. Our brains reconstruct memories every time we recall an event, filling in gaps and changing details. The more you recall a memory, the less accurate it becomes. This allows someone to alter your past, reshape your emotions, and convince you of things that never happened through suggestion. Are you sure that's what happened? And reinforcement, multiple people confirming a false memory. False confessions, abusive partners rewriting history, and propaganda machines altering historical narratives are terrifying uses of this trick. Playing on insecurities. Everyone has small whispers of doubt. This trick involves knowing those insecurities and using them to control you. It's weaponizing insecurities to manipulate behavior, happening in relationships, workplaces, politics, and advertising. It starts by identifying fears or desires, then twisting them. A romantic partner might subtly make you feel unattractive to seek their validation, or a boss hints you're replaceable to make you work harder. The goal is to make you dependent on their reassurance, approval, and protection. Insecurities cloud judgment, making you willing to prove your worth at your own expense. The manipulator controls the supply of validation, giving or taking it away to make you work harder. Social media algorithms thrive on this, feeding you ads that make you feel unsuccessful or falling behind. Urgency manipulation. That bold red timer on an online store, only 2 left in stock, sale ends in 3 minutes, is urgency manipulation. It bypasses rational thinking and forces impulsive action. This trick plays on loss aversion, the fear of losing an opportunity. When something is scarce, survival instincts kick in. Marketers use limited time offers and flash sales as psychological weapons, turning buying into a race. Cults, scammers, and con artists use urgency to trap victims before they can think clearly. Act now or you'll miss your chance. Politicians and media weaponize urgency with fear-mongering headlines, provoking immediate emotional reactions. When people are rushed, they rely on instinct and default to the easiest choice, which is usually what the manipulator wanted. The illusion of urgency creates compliance. People become highly suggestible under pressure, more likely to obey instructions, even if they go against their morals. The illusion of choice. You think you're in control, making your own decisions, but often your choices are carefully orchestrated, designed to make you feel in charge while following a predetermined path. This is the illusion of choice. Think of a restaurant menu. You choose from steak, pasta, or salad, but you never question why those specific options are there. Your decision was limited before you even thought about it. Store layouts steer you towards impulse purchases, making you believe you're shopping freely. Political debates often boil down to 2 opposing sides, limiting your perception of options. Marketers offer 3 pricing tiers to nudge you towards the middle option. In personal relationships, you can either do this my way or we can end things, is control disguised as compromise, forcing you into limited options. True freedom isn't just picking from a list, it's questioning who made the list in the first place. The best manipulators don't need to take away your choices, they just need to make you believe you had control all along. These tricks expose the subtle ways your mind can be influenced. Understanding them is the first step towards reclaiming your autonomy. Stay vigilant, question everything, and never stop seeking the truth beneath the surface.